Hello and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano, and on today's program we'll be checking in with the Friends of Wollaston Beach and Save the Harbor, Save the Bay, and learn all about some summer programs out on Wollaston Beach and more. First though, as always, we do check the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, it's pretty nice to head out to the beach. We have some sunshine out there. It's 76 degrees right now. There is a chance for some pop-up showers this afternoon and this evening, and temperatures in the upper 70s. Another shower possible later tonight, low around 60 degrees. And kind of a 50-50 weekend tomorrow. Definitely the beach day with abundant sunshine, low humidity, and a pretty comfortable temperature right around 80 degrees. Gets unsettled again on Sunday. There'll be some rain in the morning and then some spotty showers later in the day Sunday with highs into the mid-70s, and we're into summertime mode again on Monday. Hazy, hot, and humid. The high Monday near 90 degrees. Again, 76 and partly sunny in Quincy right now. In the news today, City of Quincy will likely need 5 new voting precincts for next year's statewide elections. City Clerk Nicole Crispo expects the 2020 federal census will show that Quincy's population will exceed 100,000 people, which she says will add about 1 more voting precinct to at least 5 wards across the city.
We're certainly waiting and anticipating the numbers from the federal census. And once we get those, we have to do our re-precincting, which we've been working on. And we will probably anticipate some changes for 2022. City is growing. And so for that, we may even anticipate putting in 5 new precincts.
So Crispo says a voting precinct cannot have more than 3,400 people, so she's looking to find new voting locations across the city. Crispo says there will be no changes in polling places for the upcoming city elections this year, and there will be early voting and mail-in voting for this year's city elections, with more information on that expected from the state soon. The state has approved a program that will allow some high school students here in Quincy to take some courses from Quincy College while they're still in high school. The Early College High School program will allow certain 10th, 11th, and 12th graders at both high schools here in Quincy the opportunity to take college courses from their high school teachers under guidance from Quincy College faculty. The program is geared towards students who may not have considered college, including first-generation students, students from low-income families, English language learners, or students with disabilities. 100 students from both high schools are expected to participate in the program this fall, perhaps 250 from each high school. In future programs, State Street Foundation provided a $1.3 million grant to fund the program in Quincy and at 2 schools in Boston. LeBrec Field out on Howes Neck in Quincy will get a major facelift this year. The mayor's office says the Department of Natural Resources will be installing a new playground closer to the parking lot, creating a new shade shelter, renovating the basketball court and softball diamond, and installing a perimeter walking path. Exercise equipment will be installed along the walking trail to encourage health and fitness, and some new trees will be planted. The old baseball backstop will be removed, and commemorative bricks and stones will be preserved and then used in the new design. The project is being completed as part of the mayor's Park Capital Improvement Plan that was approved by the City Council back in 2017. Now, the new playground is being funded through the Community Preservation Act. LeBrec Field is named in memory of World War I veteran and former Quincy Council President Alfred LeBrec. The project is expected to be completed this September. Veterans, first responders, and their families are all invited to a festival at Pageant Field in Quincy tomorrow. The Veterans Voice Network Music Festival and Expo runs tomorrow from 10 to 3, includes live music, food and games, a job fair, military equipment display, including a Vietnam-era Huey helicopter, plus the Johnson & Johnson single-shot COVID-19 vaccine will be distributed. The last of the Tuskegee Airmen, too. Lieutenant Colonel Enoch Woodhouse II of Roxbury will be honored during tomorrow's festival. Now, the entertainment will include the U.S. Army's 215th Army Band and a Bluegrass and Dixieland band. The first expo was held in 2019. The event was canceled last year due to the pandemic. Coming up, we chat with members of the Friends of Wollaston Beach and Save the Harbor, Save the Bay. That's next. Welcome back. Hopefully we are getting into some better beach weather because there's a lot going to be happening right here in Quincy on Wollaston Beach. So the president of the Friends of Wollaston Beach, Maureen Masrimas, is here. Also the executive director of Save the Harbor, Save the Bay, Chris Mancini, to tell us all about it. So welcome and welcome.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you for having us.
Pleasure. Usually it was the Beach Boys.
Yes,
we had Neil McCall and Dick Herbert, the late Dick Herbert.
Yeah.
So Maureen, you're going to have to fill some shoes here.
Very big shoes to
Beach
fill.
Girls.
Beach Girls.
I'm proud to be part of the Beach Girls.
Yeah, you can be a Beach Girls. Yeah. The Beach Girls.
Yeah.
The Beach Buddies.
There you go.
There we go.
Friends of Wollaston Beach, how old now? 15?
15 years.
15 years.
Yes. About 15 years ago, Doug Guttrow and the late councillor Brian McNamee decided that a group ought to be formed in order to advocate for the beach and its users and call attention to what was going on. It sort of happened concurrently with all of the improvements that have been made along the beach.
Yeah.
And so Doug, in his wisdom, said, we need to have a group to do this. And so it was formed. Kristen Awood Lattice was our first president, and I've been treasurer ever since.
Okay.
A president and treasurer.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's been pretty much the same group of people for the last 15 years. Right. Our secretary is Bob Verney, and Bob is involved with Save the Harbor, Save the Bay, because he's one of two plungers that do the splash every year to help raise money for Save the Harbor, Save the Bay. And we've had a lot of incredible support from a lot of people. The City Council has been very supportive of us, but our legislative delegation is amazing. Senator Keenan, Representatives Ayers, Chan, and Mariano have, to my knowledge, never missed a meeting. Whenever we call them and say, you know, can you do this? The answer is always yes.
Because it is a state-run beach.
It is a state-run beach.
Yeah, you need the support of the state.
And so they've been really great. We've also had amazing support from the North Quincy High School Junior ROTC, who, under the direction of Master Sergeant DiLorenzo, basically shows up anytime I ask them. And, you know, you say, can I have a few kids help me with the cleanup or something, and he sends me 20. You know? So they're really good, and they're amazing kids. You know, they've helped with the Kids Fest because sometimes it's like herding cats. You know, so they wind up, you know, helping the vendor with the games and this sort of thing. Yeah. And also we've had a lot of support from local businesses, primarily with things like the cleanups. Sure. We have 2 organized cleanups a year, Park Serve Day, which is the last Saturday in April, and Cleaner Green, which is the first Saturday in May. And those are our pull out the stops cleanups. Yep. You know, we get everybody involved. And the Park Serve Day is the north end of the beach, and the Cleaner Greener is Caddy Park. Okay. But they have the local businesses, Granite Telecommunications, Quincy Mutual, and Wollaston Yacht Club, the Quincy Police, the HouseNet Community Council, and Laurie and Dave Scott have been really helpful in helping clean up the beach. And Tony's for years organized a volleyball tournament that funded some of our activities. So
the beach has come leaps and bounds over the past 15 years from where it was to where it is today.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, there may be newcomers to the city that don't realize that. They go down to Wollaston Beach. Oh, this is a lovely beach with a beautiful wide new sidewalk, you know, and nice clean facilities. Not always the case.
Not always the case. So, you know, even though we have the 2 primary cleanups a year. We're always, if anybody wants to do a cleanup, just give us a call.
Okay.
You know, sometimes kids groups have to do it for public service, for school,
Absolutely,
that sort of thing. So under the direction of Bob Verney, we can pretty much accommodate you anytime. You know,
If
you have a warm body, we can find a spot
there's a
for
spot
you.
to fill. Yeah, exactly. And then explain, if you could, the collaboration between the Friends of Wollaston Beach and Save the Harbor, Save the Bay, because they are a key funder of the events on the beach.
Yeah, we're blessed. Save the Harbor, Save the Bay has been funding our activities for several years. We also have an anonymous benefactor who has been funding the early iterations of Kids Fest.
Okay.
But yes, in partnership with Save the Harbor, Save the Bay, we organize the events. We send a grant application to them, and they have been wonderful about supporting all the events. We had, over the past few years, Save the Harbor, Friends of Wollaston Beach had been partnering with Discover Quincy, and they had initiated, the concerts on the beach and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then they helped us with the Tot Lot events and the movie nights and that sort of thing. That has now been pretty much absorbed into the Department of Natural Resources and the Park Department under Dave Murphy. So we'll be working with Dave this year.
Okay.
With Kids Fest. And Kids Fest is an amalgamation of a lot of things. It's obviously mostly designed for fun.
Yes, we have a few quick photos from past Kid Fests. We'll show folks.
So we have the bouncies, and we've got all sorts of games, and there's a DJ and a dancing, and then we have glitter tattoos and face painting, and Chris can speak to the educational components,
Sure.
in addition to the circus performers and such.
Folks are getting a glimpse there of some of the events on the
But
beach.
it's just the kids have a really great time, and we also have, in addition to the educational component that Save the Harbor, Save the Bay brings with it, we also have coloring books that deal with stormwater and fisheries. We through Mass Boating and Yacht Clubs, we get coloring books from the Mass Department of Fisheries, and through MWRA, we get the great coloring book, Dwayne the Storm Drain.
Okay.
There we are, two couple good-looking folks in that photo.
Oh, there we go. Wow.
Is that you, Maureen, up there in the?
That's me
That's
on the
us
front
up
here.
on the,
yeah.
That's the Boston Circus Guild, one of the, in addition
Oh, okay.
to funding, we really happy to provide like in-kind partnerships like this, like
Yeah.
bringing the Circus Guild out.
Yeah, do tell us, Chris, I guess a little explanation of what
Yeah.
Save the Harbor, Save the Bay is, first of all.
Absolutely.
Mission, and then how you work with the Friends of Wollaston Beach and other organizations from what, Nahant to Nantasket?
Nahant to Nantasket, as we say. You know, and Maureen, you called us a funder. I would say, we think of ourselves as a partner, and I do want to say that the funding that we are really fortunate to be able to provide to the Friends of Wollaston Beach, and I think this year was over 60 other partner groups from Nahant to Nantasket, comes from two main places. One being a state line item for the Better Beaches program, which is a partnership with the DCR. So of course we have to thank the Baker-Polito administration and our great advocates in the legislature. Speaker Mariano is key in that. I know the budget process is coming to an end for this year, and we're really fortunate to be included again. And our advocates on the Metropolitan Beaches Commission, which include Representative Chan and Senator Keenan, as well as our mutual friend Doug Guttrow.
Yes.
So as our community commissioner. But and then the other place being the annual Harpoon Shamrock Splash.
Yes.
So you thank us for the funds, but I think you raised some of those funds yourself.
Oh,
so,
absolutely.
So I guess one of my big pitches is when next March comes around, people of Quincy, come out to Wollaston Beach if it's virtual, or maybe we'll be back together up at the Curley Center. We usually get 250 folks, and we raise $50,000 or more to add to that pile. So as we say to in our report to the state, you give us $190,000 and we give away over $200,000.
Right.
So we make good use of those funds, and then the partners, Friends of Wollaston Beach, and everyone and all those 60 groups, they leverage those funds, and it's millions of dollars in investment over the past couple of years in our communities and in the cities, and you know, we're always looking to have more folks. If you've got a great idea for a free event or a program on the beach, you know, reach out because we want to hear about it.
Okay.
We're working with some new folks this year to do the Asian Night Market in September is currently the plan, like out on the beach
Really?
here in Quincy. And of course, Dave Murphy's been a great partner and supporter of all the programs, and of course DCR as well.
Okay, well, the Splash was held this year, right?
We did hold it. It was virtual this year,
Yeah.
which in one sense made it even better. The kinds of things that people did, really creative, and we got involvement not just from Massachusetts like we usually do, but maybe some of our past friends and interns and folks who were either on vacation. I think the farthest plunge was in St. Croix, which feels like cheating to me. The whole point's to like.
Yeah, look at these folks here. These folks are diving into icy waters.
Yeah.
You
in
know.
March.
And they're just
In March.
it was our friends of the World Ocean School. They jumped off their tall ship into the warm waters of St.
poor
Croix.
man.
We're like, oh, but we appreciate it.
But it still counts.
It
Like,
still counts. It still counts. You had people going into the snows of Colorado. So.
Yes. You know,
But again,
well,
Oh, there we go.
I think-
There's-
oh yeah,
there's
here we
Michael.
go. Here we are in Wollaston Beach.
Mask wearing too.
Yeah, right. Well, you know, March was a
In the
very
water.
different environment. It was
that's
so
right.
recent, but yeah, we were very socially distant. You couldn't have more than 12 people in a group on the
Right.
beaches. So,
Right.
you know, especially during this past year, it's been all about continuing to use these spectacular urban natural resources, which became a premium resource.
Well,
really,
that's
you know,
right.
we couldn't do anything else. You couldn't go into a bar, a restaurant. You couldn't go to the movies. You know, the beaches saw some of their biggest visitorship in ages.
Yeah, I mean,
and that
where else to
continues.
be outside and socially distance. And,
Exactly,
and still
yeah.
get some fresh air and
Yeah.
and sunshine and enjoy yourself. Yeah.
So we're still trying to celebrate being able to be back together on the beach this summer.
Yeah. But it is going to happen, right, Maureen?
It is. It's going to happen.
Okay.
On Kids Fest is currently scheduled for Sunday, August 29th
Okay.
from 1 to 4 p.m. We're going to have the customary bouncies and dancing and the crab folks. Could you talk about the crab folks?
Absolutely. So, like I said, in addition to supporting events, we try to bring even more, right? How do we leverage the resource? So we have a great partnership with the Boston Circus Guild, and they just do a fantastic job. You saw the photo of them, aerialists, still walkers, jugglers. They're a pleasure to work with. If anyone needs, you know, they do a ton of stuff. They do, you know, corporate events. They do birthdays. They, you know, reach out to them. They're basically a union of circus performers in Massachusetts.
Okay.
And they're a pleasure to work with. And every year we also engage an artist in residence for our programs. And so this year we're working with greencrabs.org, and they'll be going around to 6 or 8 or 9 events, and they've created an art pop-up that is going to tell the story of the invasive green crab, which you can't not catch a green crab in Boston Harbor. You can you walk out there, you throw a crab trap in, you throw a fishing rod in. We catch them on fishing rods in Four Point
This
Channel.
is the first I've heard of them, Chris.
Yeah, they're
I'm not a fisherman, obviously.
it's if you see a crab, most likely it's a green crab. There's just so many of them. They came over in the ballast of ships. They're native to Europe and Asia, and they're actually a delicacy. You can eat them. There's not a ton of meat on them, but we've got this issue now where they have no predators here, and so greencrabs.org is really trying to highlight that.
Okay.
And
so it's invasive then.
it's an invasive species, but we kind of say eat the invaders. You get 2 for the price of 1. You can help solve an ecosystem issue by using a resource that doesn't damage the ecosystem. It's
Lemonades
a sustainable
out of
fishery.
lemon, is that it?
Exactly. Crab aid out of crabs, which I don't think that's one of their recipes.
No, probably not. No.
Maybe they should look into
Okay.
it. Yeah.
So they'll be part of Kids Fest this
So they'll be
year?
part of Kids Fest.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So you can learn about the
You can
education.
learn, and I think they're. I don't know. They also give out like crab care packages, so you can even take home crabs and with a recipe book and
there
cook
you
them
go.
up.
All right. So
Okay,
if you happen to catch one, then you know what to
Yeah.
do with it.
Yeah. Exactly.
The email that I received said all the event participants will have the opportunity to check out the art, learn about local green crab harvest efforts, how to cook with this delicious species, and connect with the people behind the project.
There you go.
It is good. I mean, if you like seafood, if you like crab, it's like If you prepare it right, it's delicious.
Which brings us to the topic of water quality.
Yeah.
At Wollaston Beach. It was in the news not too long ago. Not just on Wollaston Beach, but all the DCRN beaches. Some doing pretty well. Matter of fact, some at 100% swimmability at all the times they were tested. Some not so well. Quincy kind of right in the middle, I guess, right?
Yeah. You know, we put out our annual water quality report card, earlier this month, and as we do every year. And you can't talk about this without talking about the success of the Boston Harbor cleanup in general, right? You know, many people know in the up to the 80s, it was an open sewer, 300 million gallons a day. From 43 cities and towns getting pumped with minimal treatment out into the harbor. And we know the story of the cleanup started here in Quincy.
That's
Maureen and I were just talking about.
It's so ironic, but it's true. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Bill Golden running on the beach and just going, this is enough.
He was the city solicitor at the time and had an unpleasant experience.
I don't know if we can talk about it.
We'll just leave it at that.
Stepped in something?
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
And that was the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back.
Ran into the mayor's office and said, "We got
to do something." Yeah.
But skipping ahead, Judge David Mazzoni, in his ruling, said that people have a right to clean water, and it led to the building of the Deer Island Sewage Treatment Plant, which now processes all of that. And we know now, when we look at this water quality report card, that we saved the harbor, and not at the expense of Massachusetts Bay. We have the 9-mile outfall pipe that the water apparently is drinkable from the end of that pipe. I've been told.
I was a participant in a group that was affectionately referred to as the sewer circuit.
Okay.
And basically, the city of Quincy may have started the ball rolling, but the cleanup of Boston Harbor was a factor of so many groups from across the city. If somebody said we're having a meeting on sewage in Wellesley, everybody had trot out to Wellesley. So it was really a number of environmental groups were also instrumental. And I frequently quote a woman from Wellesley who wrote an article many years ago called "Do You Know Where Your Sewage Is Tonight?" and basically she talked about how people who have septic systems know what they can and cannot throw into the
they're given strict instructions so as not to damage the system.
Because if you put something in the system, it's going to break.
Right. Yeah.
And her argument was that we who are participants in a municipal sewer system should be as cognizant of what we throw.
Yeah.
Don't treat the ocean as your private
and
septic system.
And it was. It became a private septic system, but it was numbers of groups from across the Commonwealth. In fact, the group had actually lobbied seriously for tertiary treatment.
Yes.
I mean, you talk about being partially treated. I mean, the idea of secondary treatment was just not even a thought.
Right.
And we also advocated for satellite treatment plants. There was no reason why 180 communities should dump all their waste into Boston Harbor.
Right, treat it before it gets there, basically.
Treat it before it gets there, but that never found traction.
Yeah, well, I know there was great concern on the Outer Cape where the outfall pipe kind of is directed that it would cause problems there. That didn't materialize.
No.
That has not happened. And at Wollaston, Chris, this latest report, the water was swimmable 85% of the time that it was tested.
We like to look at the 6-year average, and so Wollaston has an 89% rating over the past 6 years. We know that Quincy is investing resources in this. We talk about the South Boston's beaches as iconic for being the cleanest urban beaches in the country at this point. And 15 years ago, it was $180 million, and thanks to the ratepayers from and MWRA from 43 cities and towns, people all came together because it was a CSO issue. It was a specific issue that could be
combined
addressed.
sewer overflows.
Combined sewer. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
But it kind of left communities like Quincy, and we're seeing the same issue a similar issue up in Lynn, on Kings Beach, to kind of go it alone. And so, Save the Harbor. We don't think we want to see the resources available to be able to take care of this. Just because it's not a combined sewer overflow, it's still, you know, stormwater. It's still affecting that water quality. And again, to quote the judge, that people have a right to clean water. And it's a beautiful beach, as you both know, and everyone in town knows. And yeah, it maybe is closed one every 10 days or so, but it's going to get better, and we want to be there to support and work with folks.
And the city has made
The city is doing
monumental progress.
monumental strides to.
We're almost
clean
out of
things
time,
up.
but I know, Maureen, you want to talk about getting some new blood to the Friends of Wollaston Beach.
We do. Basically, our board consists of, I'm the president, Bob Verney is our secretary, George Kober is our vice president, and we have board members, Kristen Awood-Lattice, Doug Gutrow, and my husband, Michael Mazrimas. And for the most part, we've been doing this for 15 years. And in addition
And we appreciate it.
in addition to the possibility of burnout, we haven't gotten there yet. But in addition to we need new ideas.
Okay.
We need new blood. We just need to
volunteers, new officers.
We need new volunteers, new officers, and Doug Gutrow has agreed. Sorry, Doug. He's agreed.
Whether he knows it or not.
No, he does know
Okay.
it because he actually reached out to Bill Harris, Chuck Phelan, and
So we'll email him, we'll call him if you're interested.
But they've all sent out letters too.
Okay.
Chuck and Bill and Bruce Ayers are sending out letters.
So the call is out there.
The call is out there.
All right. We're going to have to go.
Email is.
We put it up on the screen, so
there you
folks
go.
got that.
All right,
We're way
sorry
ahead of you,
about
Marlene.
Thank
You
you.
guys know your business.
Thank you
right.
both. Really
No,
appreciate
thank
it.
Thank you, Joe.
You're
Thank
very
you.
welcome. Recap the forecast for you for the rest of the day today. Look out for some showers to blow in this afternoon, maybe, and this evening as well. Might delay the Red Sox game tonight for a bit. Highs in the upper 70s, near 80. Tomorrow, definitely the pick of the week. Head to Wollaston Beach. Look at that, sunny and 80. Not bad on Sunday. Mostly rain in the morning. Should be better in the afternoon, and then we're back to summer on Monday. Thanks again, Maureen Mazrimas, Chris Mancini for joining us.
Thanks.
Thank you
Joe.
to our crew, and thank you for watching. Monday on the program, Walter Hubley here from the Wollaston Hill Neighborhood Association on another edition of Currently in Quincy. Have a good weekend.